So many times I hear people say, but they were all in early on. They seemed like they were emotionally available for me. My dismissive, avoidant ex or partner, they met my needs. I know they can do it. Well, they can do it when there's no emotional intimacy, when their specific fears haven't been triggered yet. Early in dating, this is the shared fantasy phase. That's because they are their fantasy selves. It's a fantasy relationship. It's not real, not emotionally for the dismissive avoidant. Their specific fears around intimacy, commitment, losing their independence, expectations, and conflict have not been triggered yet. Dopamine is flying high. Dopamine is the reward hormone. That's causing them to feel good. They are feeling great and they're letting all these bottled up emotions flow out onto you because the stakes aren't high yet. There's no real emotional intimacy. The relationship isn't real. But as the relationship progresses, emotional intimacy builds, closeness builds. There's disagreements and conflict and expectations. Well, now suddenly your expectations, your needs, your feelings are, well, they're threatening their independence. Their wounds of shame are being triggered around emotional intimacy because there's this fear that if they get too close to you, you're going to figure out that they're defective. All their walls and defenses come up and they go into deactivation mode. This comes from their nervous system feeling deeply unsafe with emotional intimacy. It's almost automatic. And because they struggle with self reflection, they've learned to avoid it due to that wound of shame. They're often completely unaware of why they're doing it. They think that it's something that you're doing, that you're the wrong person for them. So they start to emotionally withdraw from the relationship as a way to protect themselves. Now, their nervous system is essentially in fight, flight, or freeze mode because closeness, the relationship, has gotten too real. At this point, they're not able to meet your needs. People generally are so hung up on the early version saying, well, this is how they really are. How do I get them back to that place? You can't. They can only show up in that place when the relationship hasn't progressed. But longevity of the relationship is the trigger. The only way they get back to that place and stay there is by doing consistent work on themselves, by taking real accountability, healing those inner attachment wounds, doing the therapy, not just going to therapy, taking full accountability of it. And you can't make them do that. If they're not taking accountability, if they're not working on themselves, they're not going to get back to that place where they can meet your needs because they don't have the capacity to do it. They only had the capacity when they weren't triggered.